Hello and welcome back to Poppy Playtime, but not Chapter 5. I know we've played every chapter since Chapter 3. I know I've played and recorded Chapter 3, 4, and not 5, but I do think that this is probably a good opportunity to revisit the very start of the game and to see what really, how the game has progressed and changed over the past 4 years, I think, 4 or 5 years, I want to say. But yeah, without further ado, grab a cup of coffee and let's get going with Poppy Playtime Chapter 1 once again. Because yeah, Chapter 1, Tight Squeeze. As an ex-employee of Playtime Co., you finally returned to the factory many years after everybody within disappeared.
You are about to see the most incredible doll ever invented. Her name is Poppy, and she is the first truly intelligent doll in the world. A little girl can talk to her. Poppy gives her answers. She is the first doll actually able to have a conversation with a child. Hard to believe? Just watch.
Playtime! Poppy's as lovable as a real girl, and she talks like one, too.
Hi, my name is Poppy. I love you. Can you help me polish my shoes?
Why, of course, Poppy. Just like a real girl, Poppy always wants to look her best.
Perfect. Thank you.
Her hair is sturdy and won't come out when you brush it, and smells just like a poppy flower. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Poppy?
I'm a real girl, just like you.
What's the time?
Playtime!
And if you've ever wanted to see how all of the nation's favorite toys were created, Playtime Co. is now offering factory tours at just $2.99 a person. An entire hour in the most magical toy factory on Earth. What are you waiting for? Come visit the factory. We can't...
Everyone thinks the staff disappeared 10 years ago. I think disappeared is still spelled wrong. We're still here. Find the flower. Vintage Poppy commercial. Okay. So again, this is to establish our main character, ex-employee, who suddenly receives a note from seemingly someone in the old abandoned company building, and of course, out of curiosity, they return here. So yes, I did increase the gamma just a bit, or else it would be pretty difficult to see anything. So yeah, I remember the first game being a bit darker.
Hi, my name is Leif Pierre, and I'm the head of innovation here at the Playtime Co. Toy Factory. If you're seeing this, then you're trespassing. Yeah, we play this little tape on loop whenever we close the factory for the day. So, trespasser, just to make you aware, while we pride ourselves primarily on our high-quality toys and excellent child care, we also pride ourselves on our security. For example, this facility is full of hidden motion triggers, which, once set off, will turn on the factory's emergency alarms and directly contact the authorities. And that's one of the more tame aspects of our security system. No spoilers. So, you've got my warning. It's not too late to turn around. I just hope that you're certain whatever you're doing is worth it.
Alright, so usual videotapes. Now I won't critique anything just yet, or I won't point anything out until the very end of the video. So if I remember the solution, it was green, pink, yellow, red. Green, pink, yellow, red. Alright, I can't interact with anything. Alright. I mean, look at... Man, it's so weird seeing how far this game has come. Green, pink, yellow, red. There we go. Poppy wants to play. So I also want to point out that the initial VHS sequence is interestingly not huggy, because every every sort of sorry, I just coughed also, that was kind of gross. Every sort of VHS tape, starting VHS tape has been of the main sort of villain, I guess, of the chapter. So it's interesting that this one is more of an establishing shot for just the company in general, rather than just Huggy. There's our main guy. There's our main guy. Look at you. There you go. It's been a while. Not really. It has not been a while. They're releasing chapters quite on a tight schedule these days, interestingly enough. So yeah. I remember chapter 3, or no, it's chapter 4 releasing probably, I think, less than a year or around a year after chapter 3. So it was actually quite a tight schedule. So it was, I think for a lot of people, it was a bit concerning. And oh, that's weird. If I approach it too much, it doesn't launch. But yeah, there you go. Look at you, Huggy. It's been a while. Not really. We've seen you enough. There we go. There's the key. And let's go to testing. I think it was here, right? No, it was not here. I lied. Where did I have to go for you? I don't remember. Where did you have to go? Oh. Of course, the one plays with the light source. Am I stupid? Yeah, kinda. A little bit. Oh my god, it's still so dark. I thought it'd be a lot brighter, but nah. Nah, it's still dark as heck. Where's the power source? High voltage? I don't think so. No. But yeah. Right. We have to divert power. Right. There we go. So, the puzzles were, of course, a lot more simplistic. So much more simple than what we had before, or than what we had in like chapter 3 and stuff like that. Because chapter 3 had like the boost hand where you had to jump up and stuff like that. Like, what a thing, man. And Huggy is gone. Ooh. Make a friend, I will. Oh, there it is. Of course, let's go down the ominous hallway. So, I mean, I do like this environment a bit more than the underground stuff. It could just be nostalgia talking, or it could just be a common bias type of thing, but there, at some point, there is inherently like a suspension of disbelief, right? It's like, oh, the amount of, how big does this underground facility go? You'll never know. I'm trying to remember how this worked. There we go. Right, a battery pack. Right, okay. Who needs my knees? I can just like land on the solid concrete and not be afraid of my knees. Clearly that's healthy. Okay. We open that door. Handle with care. I will not actually handle that with care. There we go. sorry, I kind of forgot the first game's puzzles. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, there we go. Why am I trapped? Drats! I've been foiled by the shelves. Happens. Okay, let's go. Okay, we are 3 batteries, which is good enough. I don't remember if we need to place them anywhere specific. I mean, obviously we do need to place them somewhere specific, but I digress. Oh, I'm missing one. Why did I miss one? What the heck? I didn't miss one. Why am I blind? What the hell, man? I mean, it doesn't help that it's like dark as heck, but okie dokie. Hey, have you seen where the the 4th one is? I can count too, apparently. 5th one, and there's only 4. My God, I'm actually running on 1 brain cell. Okie dokie. Let's go. Am I going to get all the VHS tapes now? Nah, probably not. Look at you. So effective. There's her other hand. My commentary is so helpful, I know. Boy, vey. Stop. Guess I do have to. I guess I do have to go up to you. There we go. I don't remember where I got the orange VHS tape. It's just been 4 years. Cut me some slack. I'm old. I'm so old. I'm gonna forget about everything. Okay, wait. Just one more thing. Just one more. Oh, never mind. I'm dumb. I'm so good at this. So good at this. There we go.
Rich, where are they keeping the Huggy boxes?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Remember when maintenance last did a sweep of this place?
No.
Exactly. Nobody in this stupid company knows what they're doing. Oh, I swear, I haven't seen a single box in its place since they started flooding the storehouse with orphanage junk.
Right.
I get it. It's a nice program and all on brand, but it's just hard to be happy about it when manufacturing's on our necks about it, because we can't find stupid Huggy boxes.
Rich.
You're right. You're right. It's for the orphans. I just wish there were less boxes. Anything less would be more habitable. Is that even a word? Habitable?
Okay, so yeah. Nothing really changed, I think, regarding the VHS tapes. Like I think this main story is still pretty much presented in the main bulk of the game, and if you want additional details, you always sort of, if you want like additional lore details, you sort of always want the VHS tapes. Why? What is wrong with you? There we go. Still buggy as heck. Buggy wuggy. Boy. I'm pretty sure that string would actually just choke me instantly. Ay. Ah, classic of me not being able to see anything. I think I do distinctly remember needing to turn up the camera for the other games as well. So. Yeah, lighting has definitely not changed. Oop. Hee. Okay, there we go. Wait, am I still crouched? No, I'm just short. Yeah, it makes sense. Needs power. Ugh, the humanity. Nobody leaves without a toy. Watch me. I mean, it's true. I never left. I never left this building, technically. By all means, it's quite correct, actually. There we go. Okay. There we go. Oh my god, there we go. Hey. No. Go. Right like this. I'm gonna choke on myself apparently if I do this. Wait, hold on. Alright, yes. I'm slow. Life is slowly choking out of me. Oh, I don't know why they were in slow motion with that. Man, what the balls? I don't want to talk about it. Not that really matter because I could just do like this. If I have to fall off these things once more, I'm just gonna be so mad. My god. There we go. Hey, you have power now. Goodbye. My knees. Oh, my knees. Where's the other VHS tape? The pink one. I swear it was like somewhere. Somewhere along here. I mean, we can always look for it afterwards, but you know, I'm just kind of lazy. Alright. My eardrums, mate. Our founder, Elliot Lockwood, was a visionary, or Ludwig. He set the stage for all of Playtime Co's greatest feats. Yet, of all the amazing things he created, the Make-A-Friend machine is one of the most creative and impressive and advanced. I don't know why and it is solely responsible for nearly every Playtime Co toy sold on the market to this day. All it needs is to be fed the proper parts, and it will then paint, assemble, and do a quality inspection of the toy all on its own. Gone is the need for complex sorting or back-breaking labor. This machine can do all that and more. Wow. Right. So, of course, toys. We need some parts from everything. Look at you getting sorted out. Right. Why is this thing so loud? Choo-choo, I guess, but also, man, why so loud? So loud for what? For what? For what? Go. Look at you. You're still as dead as the day I first saw you. Which, I guess, circles back to this game, but I digress. I don't like all the choppy choppies. Oh, there you are. Look at you. How silent it is after that. My god, it became so silent after that. Look at you. Look at you. Do not enter. I will. In just like 2 seconds. I don't know, it's so funny. It just bonks. It's a boop. Boop the snoot. I guess the door. But the VHS tape. VHS tape is here. Yeah. Ay. Dog. Oh, right, E. I totally know how my buttons work.
So, Stella, what made you want to work at the Playtime Co. factory?
Playing with toys when I was young was so magical. I could go straight from my bedroom floor to anywhere in the world. It was such a great feeling. And being able to work at a toy factory, somewhere that can provide kids with that same experience, that's a pretty great feeling too. Sometimes though, I really, really wish I could go back. To being a kid, I mean. And it's weird, because adults are just kids, but older. I don't think anyone ever really feels like an adult, but your body just gets older and older, and then you die. Poof! Human bodies just can't stay young forever. There's things though, like some trees that can stay alive even while being way older than a person. I mean, the oldest people to ever live are still younger than those. So I guess everyone is always young relative to something. Right?
Alright, I think we're getting a little off track.
Right. Right, so that was the basic introduction to possibly why these experimentations all occurred and all that stuff, so yep. I didn't remember what the sequencing was for the chase scenes. Because I definitely don't. I just remember he pops out at certain times of the hallway and stuff like that. Oh, fine. There we are. It's still dark as heck. There we go. Oh, right, the other side. I'm dumb. So dumb. Get up. Which they actually haven't really changed with the chase scenes. Make a friend. I don't think I'm making any friends today anytime soon. Maybe it would be weird if it was the first time for me to do this, but also I'm dying as much as I did the original time, so yeah. It's like, wow. I mean, this would be pretty fun, to be honest. This would be pretty fun if I wasn't being chased by a murderous doll, but I digress. Doll balls, dude. Oh, my here. Literally, stop that. Why am I going so slow? Probably because it's the end. Goodbye. So still not a fan of the chase sequences. I think generally I'm not the biggest fan of these chase sequences because of the fact that they are sort of random. They try and add pressure points to not pressure points, but I guess it is a pressure point to these chase sequences by just having like random paths being sealed and stuff like that. But at its core, I don't really think it makes it that scary. I think because the thing with chase sequences is the initial adrenaline rush, right? It's suddenly like, oh, you're suddenly being chased, and now you're like, oh, I have to engage in fight or flight, and having certain things blocked or having the creature suddenly pop up in front of you, that does increase that adrenaline rush. But the thing is, after like a couple of times, that adrenaline fades away. You know what's going to happen. So at that point, once the adrenaline fades away, you're just guessing. You're just trying to be like, oh, where do I go from here and stuff like that. So I understand our need for chase sequences, but at the same time, if they randomize it too much, it also becomes a point of frustration after a couple of times because it is randomized and you just sort of have to go with the flow, but you can't always go with the flow because you have to die to continue with the chase sequences and stuff like that.
Final log. In relation, experiment 1006, the prototype. Coordination and cooperation is evidently within his skill set, as well as the skill set of all other experiments of his type. Though still missing, today's events are no doubt in relation to him. His absence was a flaw in the scientific process, which should have under no circumstances been left unaccounted for. That's why I'm making this log, so that the same mistake won't be made twice. Any future experiments will need to be contained and disposed of in a secure location. I'm not worried about myself. One breakthrough and I'll be back. We must forge onwards in the name of science, whether those who are beneath us understand it or not. End of...
And that's our prototype. That's our first introduction to the prototype. Which again, these aren't like chapter defining things, right? They're just additional details that help add on to what we are experiencing to the world. Well, actually, that's a lie. I think that's... wait, hold up. Actually, now that I think about it, that's kind of a lie. Because we're missing a lot of context clues if we don't watch all of these tapes. But yeah. Right. Because especially with that conversation with Stella, like, if only there was a way for us to live forever. Again, it infers to something. And then the thing with the prototype, like, there is a lot of context clues that you miss if you don't watch the VHS tapes. So it is something that I think it's always been a flaw of this series, where of course you can play each chapter self-contained, but you miss a lot of game setting, of scenery, not scenery, but you miss a lot of game setting, like, things if you don't play those VHS tapes.
You opened my case.
Chapter 1, The Tight Squeeze, game director Isaac Christopherson. So, Isaac Christopherson is an interesting name because he was the game director for chapter 1 to 3. And then after that, chapter 4, he was no longer the game director. So originally, Poppy Playtime was meant to go up to chapter 5, and you can see some traces of that, where, especially I think with Catnap, there was a lot more. Wait, chapter 4. What was chapter 4? Sorry, I'm trying to remember everything. Right. So chapter 4 was the Doctor. Chapter 3, Catnap. Right. So you can see them sort of leading into sort of chapter 5, which is the end supposedly, with Catnap being like, oh, the prototype is this godlike being, right? And Catnap was clearly worshiping the prototype and all that stuff. You can really tell when chapter 4 hit that it was quite a bit different. So chapter 1 to 3 can tell that there was an actual, like, main focus of it, because it was building up to the prototype. Right, like Mommy Momlex was like, he'll make me a part of him, and then the prototype hand just drags her away. And then of course with Catnap very much so felt like an apostle of the prototype. Right, throughout like our encounters with Catnap, it was always like praying for the prototype and all that stuff. It felt like, yeah, it really felt like chapter 3 was going to sort of it felt like really much so a prelude to essentially the prototype, because we were building up to oh yeah, here's a follower of the prototype, and then we finally have the prototype at the end or something like that, right? But chapter 4 felt like a break. I think the Doctor felt too much like its own being. Not that that's a bad thing, but it definitely felt like the Doctor sort of operated independently of the prototype. As a result, I think it sort of broke the build-up that we had for the prototype. It definitely felt like a mini boss, like a side quest to some degree. Now, obviously, the Doctor was still relevant. There's no denying that, but it definitely didn't feel like we were leading up to the prototype anymore. As for chapter 3 and 4, you can, just in terms of game design, for the boss fights, right? Or just even throughout the entire game, because chapter 3, we relied on the grab packs quite a bit, but especially during the boss fight, because we would need to switch between the green one and then the flare one. So for the catnap boss fight, we need to switch around quite a bit. But then when it came to chapter 4, you can tell that there's this sort of shift in game mechanic as well, because we kind of lose most of them, and then we only sort of got the Omni hand. and our final boss fight as well, it's just navigating a maze. We never really truly make use of the grab pack, which is, I think, probably the most defining feature of Poppy Playtime, because whereas most sort of horror games and all the games of this genre, you had like you had inventory and stuff like that, but with Poppy Playtime you have these versatile tools in the form of hands, which I think was really, really unique to Poppy Playtime. But you can tell that there was this shift because chapter 4 did not lean on those strengths, whereas chapter 3, it was quite the defining feature of just the final fight and of the game and of the chapter in general. You can tell that there was this mounting horror to the game from chapter 1 to 3. Whereas like the red mist, and then of course catnap with the nightmarish thing, and then the Doctor was just an eye with a TV, and they didn't really play too much in the red mist, I think, at that point. Maybe I am biased. I definitely am biased, because the game was supposed to again end at chapter 5. There's also I think there's also a certain amount of suspension of disbelief, because after like chapter 5, the facility is just too big. It's too big underground, and the fact that even if, let's just say, it was government supported, like I think multiple countries were sort of funding this, if I remember correctly, even if that happened, it would just not be cost effective to build an entire facility underground, because the amount that they would need to mine and bomb underneath would be so much. So at that point, it would just be better if they had an entire island to themselves rather than just like an entire underground facility. So at that point, it just became too much. I think chapter 1 really helped the fact it was really nice in that it was a lot more contained. You didn't see as much of the facility, and as much and so your suspicion of disbelief was kind of more like it was suspended. Like you'd be like, okay, yeah, they were doing experiments for humans, tossing them into toys and stuff like that. You're like, okay, that's still like a fantastical element. But then at that point, after that, it's like, oh, there's way too much. There's like that is something I feel like the government can do. But then building an entire facility underground, that big, the size of an entire city, I think that's way too much. It's way too much, because at that point it's like, oh, yeah, there's only so much that they would be willing to expand on that facility and stuff like that. And like I mentioned, like I do think that quite a bit of lore is hidden within those VHS tapes, and if you can't find them, you miss out on quite a bit. Like you can still, like I said, you can still understand the bulk of the story even if you don't watch those VHS tapes, but you're missing out on a lot of sort of developments, sort of scene setting things, which is a shame. I think a lot of horror games have sort of adopted this model, where it's like collecting notes, collecting different items to get the full story. And I think that's not necessarily the way to go. And this is not just me attacking Poppy Playtime. This is just the horror genre in general, where it becomes a lot more about collecting these collectibles so they can read out the lore ourselves, rather than the game trying to just give some different aspects just directly, right? At some point, I think it becomes a crutch rather than an actual gameplay tool. Because then it's like, oh, we can explain things away. If they think we have a plot hole, we can just say, oh, you guys just didn't find VHS tape number 3000 or whatever, or note number 3000. And it becomes frustrating, because if you have to go out of your way to research extra material to fully comprehend a scene, I think that's not on the players like problem. Like I don't think it's their problem. I think it's a game problem if like they have to use supplementary material to complement the game, to explain the game away. I think that's inherently a writing flaw. And yeah, like this is something that I've seen from Chapter 1 itself, and from many other horror games as well. I've already ranted about the chase scenes. Lighting is a bit dark. I mean, like I said, I really like Chapter 3. Miss the Light was horrifying. The fact that you could just like, she just ran towards you, and it's like, oh yeah, if you look away, you're screwed. Like, and you had to navigate through like that maze thing. Like, again, like I think they really amped up the horror for Chapter 3, and then they really didn't sort of follow it through with Chapter 4. Yeah. But like I don't mind Poppy Playtime. I think that there's a lot of lore to it, and I think there's a lot of setting to it, which I really do appreciate. But having a lot of depth and having a lot of lore doesn't equal good execution, and it doesn't equal good writing. I think people just sort of equate that to good writing, good like depth to everything, to just like good writing. How am I Englishing right now? What the heck? I think people equate having lots of text and having lots of lore to good writing, when that's not inherently true. Because there are flaws with how this game is delivering said lore, and there's only a certain amount of suspension of disbelief they can hold for this type of situation. I think we're long past that. I think at this point, with how massive the facility and stuff like that, like it's really hard to take this game seriously. Again, I do enjoy a lot of aspects of Poppy Playtime. I like the grabby packs. I do wish that they leaned into it a lot more. And I do wish they kept the nightmarish aspect of all of the experiments and stuff like that. So yeah, I like a lot of aspects of it, but I think that they should have never doubled down on the suspension of disbelief. They should have never like expanded so much. And yeah, I think that they're definitely rushing out chapters a lot. Because when I played Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 on release date, they were both pretty buggy, not gonna lie. So yeah, definitely needs more time to marinate and cook. Other than that, there's something else that I want to talk about. I do have to give them credit for sound design and stuff like that. Alright, the price. They've been adding to the price of this slowly and slowly and slowly. Not really too slowly, because I think at this point Poppy Playtime's like what, $21, 26 maybe, for Chapter 4 and 5. So it's already quite for Canadian, just so we're clear. So it's already quite expensive. I mean, if we add everything together, that's like $80 Canadian. It's becoming quite the expensive game. So yeah, not to mention, this is the final thing I'm going to address, because the CEOs of the creators of the company behind this franchise, this series, they're no strangers to controversy, because I do remember them having a controversy with a Minecraft animation creator as well, who at the time was a minor. Don't worry, they aren't like creeps, but they're just it was just done in bad faith. And then of course they had their stuff with NFTs and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that I would disagree with them on. I mean, just the fact that they were trying to target like a kid, I thought was kind of weird. But all of that aside, like I still think that Chapter 3 was probably the most solid. Even though the boss fight was annoying, and then Chapter 1 I thought was solid. Chapter 2, Poppy's character was kind of flip-floppy. Like, you can't really tell, like, it was hard to get a read on her. Chapter 4, and then Chapter 5. So, yeah. I would say that writing execution has never been Poppy Playtime's strongest suit. I think world building has been a really, really strong suit of Poppy Playtime. I think that up until Chapter 3, they really utilized the unique aspect, the unique mechanics of Poppy Playtime really well. And they really leaned into the nightmarish aspects of the toys, which I appreciated. So there's a lot that I like, just so we're clear. I just think that the execution is lacking, and I do wish that we didn't really see as many chase scenes. I know this feels very, very Markiplier in terms of blowing it up, but I do want to give a more neutral take. Not that my opinion matters too much, but I'm just an average consumer, man. I don't want to pay like $20 more of DLCs to finish this series, right? The fact that I have to pay $25 at this point for the DLCs is just kind of ridiculous. I want them to wrap it up, and I want them to wrap it up with a bang. I'm not made of money. I don't want to pay $100+ for a game that should have ended at Chapter 5, you know? And for the most part, my initial experiences with Chapter 3 and 4 have been buggy. So if I'm paying like $20+ for each expansion, they shouldn't be buggy as heck as well. You know, I'm not rich like Mark. Well, I'm not like, I don't invest as much money into games as like Markiplier, as Jacksepticeye, as like IGP and stuff like that. So I want my money to be used, you know, worthwhile. So yeah, that's the main reason why I'm pointing all of this out. Yeah, I'm just an average consumer. I just want to save money, man. I just want this story to wrap up. But it's like sunk cost fallacy at this point. It's like, oh, I'm so invested. I invested so much money into this story. I might as well see it through and stuff like that. But yeah. I think that about wraps it up for Poppy Playtime Chapter 1. Yeah. What a franchise. What a series. Let's see where Chapter 6 takes us. I think it's probably going to release next year, but let's see. But yeah, hope you guys have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when and where you guys are. And see you guys next time. Bye-bye. See you, and take care. Bye. Also, I do want to say, Chapter 1 did receive a lot less flack because it was a new entry into the horror genre, and it was free. Whereas every other game, it was you need to pay for it. So yeah, and then you can sort of see the same mistakes being made over and over again. So it does compound, and the fact that it's no longer free does affect the experience, I feel like, and the lack of recency bias does again affect your experience as well. So yeah, but yeah, now I'm actually going now. Okay, bye bye, take care, see ya.